Good morning. Myself, Shobhik Bakchi, Assistant Professor of Department of Electrical Engineering, Bojboj Institute of Technology, Kolkata. Today, I am going to discuss about distance relay. Now, first, what is distance relay? The distance relay is widely used protective scheme for the protection of high and extra high voltage transmission lines. That means distance relay actually used to protect the distance, or it is used for distance protection. So distance means we know the transmission line. So it is actually used for the transmission line protection. This scheme employs a number of distance relays which measure the impedance or some components of the line impedance at the relay location. What are the some components of the relay location? Along with impedance, some relay it measure the reactance also or admittance. So these are the components of the impedance. So this quantities or these components can measured by the distance relay, and as per measuring of this component, the distance relay, the types of distance relay can be segregated. The measured quantity is proportional to the line length between location of the relay and the point where the fault has occurred, as the measured quantity is proportional to the distance along the line. The measuring relay is called distance relay. Now, why here is written the quantity, actually the measured quantity is proportional to the distance, I will explain whenever I will explain the impedance relay. So basically we are using three types of distance relay. What are those? That is impedance relay, reactance relay, and admittance or mode relay. Now, before proceeding in details of the distance relay, we need to know first universal torque equation. What is universal torque equation? Actually, the universal torque equation explains the working principle of the distance relay. How? I will explain now. The relay has some arrangement of electromagnetic structures. This structure consists current and voltage windings. The current through the winding produce magnetic flux. Obviously, you know, if any winding is given, if current is flowing, definitely it will produce magnetic flux. Now, there are some flux, and this flux, if this flux are interact with each other, then torque will produced, and this torque will help to operate the relay actually. Now, how this will occur? Now, torque developed by the current winding, if any current coil is given due to or current winding is given, this winding used to develop the torque. That equation will be k1 into I square. K1 is the tap setting or constant of current. Okay. Now torque developed by the voltage winding will be K2V square. Now if current and voltage both coils are present, then what will be the torque? Then the torque will be K3 into Vi cos of theta minus tau. What is theta? Theta is the angle between V and I, that is the phase angle actually, and the tau is called the torque angle, that is the relay maximum torque angle, it is called the tau. Now this equation actually T is equal to k1 I square plus k2 V square plus k3 Vi cos of theta minus tau plus k4. This total equation is called the universal torque equation. Now if we discussed about impedance relay or reactance relay or admittance relay, we will use this torque equation as per the requirement. Now how this torque equation used for the distance relay or various type of distance relay, I will explain one by one. Now it is the heart of the distance relay. That means this torque, universal torque equation is the heart of the distance relay, because without this torque equation we cannot able to understand how the distance relay is operating. Now first proceed to the impedance relay. Now to realize the characteristics of an impedance relay, current compared with the voltage at relay location. Means we know impedance is equal to V by I. Now if we measure the current and voltage both, then if we calculate the ratio of voltage and current, then we will get the impedance, because V by I is equal to impedance. That means at the relay location, the relay will measure these quantities only, and by these quantities the relay will check actually the impedance. Now I have told you previously the impedance relay will check the impedance and which is proportional to the length of the line. How this will occur? See, here is connected a generator, that is G, and now here is given circuit breaker, then bus bar, then circuit breaker. It's a line compensation that with the it's a potential transformer with bus bar, and this impedance relay like this. There is current coil as well as potential coil or voltage coil, because voltage coil will measure the voltage and current coil will measure the current, because for the impedance relay both this coil is needed, because it will check the impedance, that is voltage by current. Now see, if any location, suppose this F1 location fault has occur, now we know, suppose between A and B it's a transmission line. As it is a transmission line, we know the transmission line having the rating, that means the impedance per phase per kilometer. This way we can write down the transmission line parameter. Now we can say up to this F1 location, that means up to this location we can able to calculate the impedance. That means suppose if we calculate the impedance up to this F1 location, this impedance may be Z of F. Okay. Now the entire line up to A to B, the impedance is Z. Suppose this is the impedance of the entire line. Now the relay which is connected near to the A, it will protect the bus bar the line between A to B. Now if any fault will occur F2 location, that means beyond this zone, this relay will not check this. Now how this type of relay will work? See, if fault is happened at F1 location, that means the relay will check the voltage and current up to this F1. We know if we calculate the voltage between A to B, the whatever the voltage will be there between A to F1, the voltage will be less, because the impedance will be less. Now definitely if voltage will be less, we can indirectly say that the impedance will be less. Now if this value of Z of F, actually this value Z of F is less than the Z, we can say the relay will operate. That means it is within the zone of the relay characteristics or relay zone, relay operating zone. Now if we say up to F2, the impedance, suppose Z of F1. Now if impedance will be Z of F1, we can easily see from the diagram, we can say ZF of 1 will be the greater than of Z. That means the relay will not operate because it's beyond its zone. So how basically this impedance relay is working? That means if any fault will occur within the particular zone of its operation, then the relay will start operant, and this type of relay is using actually the impedance or checking actually the impedance. That is why this type of relay is called impedance relay. Similarly, if any relay type of relay will measure the reactance up to this fault position or fault location, then this type of relay will called the reactance relay. If any relay is checking the admittance of the line, then that type of relay is called the admittance relay. Now the impedance relay, definitely we know V and I, so they definitely there will be two type of coil. One is voltage or current coil, and another one is voltage coil or potential coil. Okay. Now what will be the torque equation? As these two individual coils are there, so the torque equation will be T is equal to K1 I square minus K2 V square minus K4. Now you have seen that in the universal torque equation I have written K1 I square plus K2 V square and K4, and here I have not written K3 Vi cos of theta minus tau, because both coils are not present, that here only two individual coils, that is current coil and the pressure coils are present. That is why I can say here this is the torque equation. Now what is the significance of this minus line? Actually, you know, there are two type of torque. One is operating torque, another one is restraining torque. Actually, whatever the torque will produce by the current coil, we always know that will be the operating torque, and whatever torque will produce by the voltage coil, that will be the restraining torque. Now how this will operate, or when the relay will operate? If current coil and or operating torque and restraining torque will be same, then we can say that is the set point. Now if that operating torque is less than the restraining torque, that means the relay is restricting to operate. That means we can say the relay will not operate. If operating torque will be higher than the restraining torque, then we can say the relay will start operate. And K4, always it's a spring torque, so that is what that means. This torque will be always in the restraining option, and we can, as it is a constant, we can omit for the calculation also. Now what is the calculation? Now from the universal torque equation we know T is equal to K1 I square minus K2 V square minus K4 when the relay will operate, if operating torque will be greater than to the restraining torque. Now so operating torque will be K1 I square, which will be the greater than K2 V square. Now similarly we can say K2 V square is less than K1 I square. Now V square by I square less than K1 by K2. Now K1 by K2 both are the constant, so we can say V by I less than constant. No need to use the if whatever root and whatever square, if we do the constant, it will ultimately become a constant. So I can write down V by I less than constant. So V by I means z less than k. K is actually called the set value. That means the zone length. So what I have told in the previous slide, you can see the z value, this total entire z value, what is written, that is actually k. If the measuring z value will be the less than the actual set value, then we can say actually the impedance value of that zone, then the relay will start operate. Now how this relay will operate? Mainly we can verify by using the Rx diagram. This is the Rx diagram, or also we can see here the operating characteristics of the impedance relay. Now you can see the positive torque region is the ZF greater less than Z, and negative is ZF greater than Z. Now if ZF greater than Z, it's a negative torque, that means the relay will not operate. Now positive torque, whenever we will get the positive torque, that means the disc will start rotating, so that means ZF is less than Z, then we can say the relay will operate. Or if we draw the Rx diagram properly, then we can say easily say how the relay is operating. If we plot the universal torque equation, that means it's a circle equation. Now the circle is looks like this. Now the beyond the circuit, actually this circuit, the red border line, you can say it's a zone line, that is the Z, that means total Z. If the actual impedance is less than this Z value, that means it's called the operating region, that means it will develop the positive torque. Now if the value of Z is the beyond this, then this region is called the negative torque region, also called the blocking zone, that means the relay will not operate. So if only the relay will operate if the fault impedance is less than the actual impedance, that means ZF, that means fault location impedance, up to the fault location impedance is less than the actual length of the line or the distance. So like this way the impedance relay will work. Now reactance relay. A typical reactance relay using the induction cup structure is shown in figure below. In which figure? So you see, this is a induction cup type structure. So this relay is actually the reactance relay. So how this relay will work, I am explaining here. You can see two polarizing coil here is given. Upper coil and lower coil are called the polarizing coil, and left hand side it is the operating coil, and right hand side it is the restraining coil. Now with restraining coil you can see or the operating coil, you can see there is RC circuit. Now this RC circuit will help to make the torque angle as the maximum, that is 90 degree, because R and C is given, definitely the angle will be 90 degree. So that is why the torque angle for this type of relay is the 90 degree. Now how it will work? See, it's a 4-pole structure carrying operating, polarizing and a restraining coil, which I have shown in the diagram. The operating torque is developed by the interaction of fluxes due to current carrying coil, that is interaction of fluxes 2, 3 and 4. Because you know the operating 3 is the operating coil, that means definitely operating coil will be produced by with the help of coil number 3. Now whereas the restraining coil or restraining torque will operate or developed by the interaction of flux 1, 2 and 4. You can see the coil number 1, it is the restraining coil, that means it is helped to develop the restraining torque. Now how this torque will operate? See, the operating torque will be proportional to the square of the current, while the restraining torque will be proportional to the VI cos of theta minus 90 degree. Why it's 90 degree? Because RC circuit is given there, and the angle, torque angle, the maximum torque angle will be 90 degree. That is why tau here is written. Actually it is the K3 VI cos of theta minus tau. Tau is given 90 degree. Now the current coil will always give the operating torque, and whatever voltage is there, and voltage with the current coil. Why it's voltage with the current coil? Because this restraining torque coil is the voltage coil, it's a current coil, but polarizing coils are the current coil. That means this entire 2, 3 and 4 are the current coil. Now 2, 1 and 4, these are the voltage and current coil combination. So that is why for restraining torque it is written VI cos of theta minus tau, and for the operating coil it is written I square. That means the coil will be, actually the torque equation will be T is equal to K1 I square. It is giving the operating torque. Then definitely restraining torque will be negative, operating torque will be positive. The negative will be restraining torque. K4 is the spring torque negative, and restraining torque K3 VI cos of theta minus 90 degree. It's also the restraining torque, so it will become the negative. Okay. Now see how it will work. See, the universal torque equation for the reactance relay T is equal to K1 I square minus K3 VI cos of theta minus 90 degree minus K4, or we can say T is equal to K1 I square minus K3 VI sin theta minus of K4. See, for the operation of the relay, the following equation should be satisfied. Means the operating torque must be greater than the restraining torque. Which one is the operating torque? K1 I square, and restraining torque K3 VI sin theta. Now K4 we can omitted here because it's a constant, it is negligible. Spring torque will be the negligible torque. Now we can similarly we can say K3 VI sin theta less than K1 I square. If we calculate this one, we will get Z sin theta is equal to K. We know Z sin theta means if we plot the impedance diagram. Now as per the impedance diagram, this axis is the R. Now this axis is the X. Actually this axis is the jx axis, and so this axis will be the Z axis, right? Now which one is the phase angle? This angle is called the theta. It is the impedance triangle. So if we say Z into sin theta, what is sin theta? Sin theta will be this X what is sine theta? So actually this sine theta is the perpendicular by hypotenuse, means what is perpendicular? X by z. So x by z is equal to sine theta, so x is equal to z sine theta. So we can say the z sine theta is equal to x. So x less than k. If x less than k, we can say the reactance is less than the actual value of that total line. So what is the value of this total line? That means total, in case of impedance relay, we have seen that the total line impedance, that is z, and instead of this we can say the total line reactance, that is called the total x. Now if xf, now instead of x, if we put the xf, if xf is less than the total x, then we can say the relay will operate. Now if you see the Rx diagram, you can see that it's a R plus R minus R plus X minus X. Now what will be the reactance diagram? Z sin theta is the straight line, so this will be the straight line which will be the parallel to the R axis or the real axis. Now this is the Z line, so it is the theta. Now Z sin theta is this line. If the reactance of the line or up to the fault location is less than the actual x of the line, then we can say it is produce a positive torque. That means it is within the zone, that means operating zone, the relay will operate. If this x value is greater than, that means the fault location is f2, then you can say that the reactance is beyond its limit. So that means the relay will not operate. That means this zone is called negative torque zone, or it is also called the blocking zone. Now admittance or Moore relay. Moore relay is a high speed relay and it's also known as admittance relay. In this relay, operating torque is obtained by the volt ampere element and the controlling element is developed due to the voltage element. It means a Moore relay is a voltage control directional relay. Also we can say this Moore relay is called the inherently directional relay. What is directional relay? I will explain later during the feeder protection, but this Moore relay is called the inherently directional relay. Why this Moore relay is called inherently directional relay, I will come later. First you should know this is the directional relay. Now a Moore relay using the induction cup type structure. Now similar structure you can see here, this type of structure. Here is only capacitor is present with the polarizing coil, no resistance is present. So you can say the Moore relay using the induction cup structure is shown in the figure below. That means the next figure I have, which one I have shown. The operating torque is developed by the interaction of fluxes due to pole 2, 3 and 4. That means 2, 3 and 4 means this pole 2, 3 and 4, and restraining torque will produced is given for the 1 only, 1, 2 and 4. Now you can say the restraining torque for the Moore relay is K2 V square and the operating torque will be K3 Vi cos of theta minus tau. So the torque equation will be T is equal to K3 Vi cos of theta minus tau minus K2 V square minus K4. Now as the universal torque equation is given, that is K1 I square plus K2 V square plus K3 Vi cos of theta minus tau plus K4. Now how can you say which one, how this equation will be written and how it can be remembered? I am showing you a small logic. Whatever, that means you can see whatever the current coil is present, current I value is present, that means definitely that will be the operating, that equation will produce the operating torque. In the impedance relay you can see K1 I square, it produces the operating torque. Also in the reactance relay you can see two coil, one coil having the Vi and another coil having the only I square. So which one I is higher? I square is higher, so K1 I square given the operating torque. Now in the Moore relay you can see Vi cos phi, that is one is Vi, another one is V square. Now where I is present, now Vi cos of theta minus tau, this equation the I is present, then definitely this will produce the operating torque and the voltage, this K2 V square will produce the restraining torque. So like this way you can remember which will be the equation, and how to remember the equation I have told right now. Now see, if we say the universal torque equation, it is k3 vi cos of theta minus tau minus of k2 v square minus of k4. The what is the operating condition? Definitely the operating torque will be greater than the must be greater than the restraining torque. So k3 vi cos of theta minus tau greater than k2 v square. So I by v is into cos of theta minus tau greater than k2 by k3, or we can say that y cos of theta minus tau is greater than k2 by k3. So it after calculating this, we can say m less than k. If the admittance in between the range, then we can say the relay will operate. If the admittance is not within the range, then the relay will not operate. If we draw the Rx diagram, we can see this line, this red line is passing through the origin. That means we can see that the relay will operate only a single direction. That means within this direction, the relay, if the fault will happen in this region, that means in this region if the fault will happen, the relay will not check. That means relay will check only the single direction. So as the relay is checking the single direction, that is why the relay, this admittance relay, is called the inherently directional relay. It's a very important question, why the mode relay or admittance relay is called inherently directional relay. Now you can see z is equal to zr cos of theta minus tau. So up to this line, if this value is within the limit, then we can say that the relay will operate. If if the value is beyond this red line, then that means we can say this is the negative torque region or the blocking region. So like this way the admittance relay is working. Now I have said that why admittance relay is called inherently directional relay. The same answer is given here. As the relay characteristics, we can see the relay, the circle is passing through the origin. That means we can say the relay will not check the negative region, that is the negative side axis, only it shows the positive axis. So that is why we can say it will check in only single direction. So that is why the mode relay or admittance relay is called the inherently directional relay. This all about the distance relay, and next topic I will discuss about the different the directional relay with the aid of the feeder protection. Thank you.